Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 1 of the Bala Kanda. Here, sage Narada visited the Valmiki ashrama at some time and he is narrating the story of Rama uh, while answering to a question posed by sage Valmiki. The sage Valmiki, chief among the Munis and the most eloquent among the men, constantly engaged in the practice of self control and the study of holy scriptures, inquired Sri Narada regarding the speciality of a person with the specific qualities. Please do observe at the words that the Valmiki is asking while making a query. O Narada, who is there in the world today endowed with excellent and heroic qualities, who is versed in all the duties of life, grateful, full, firm in his vows, an actor of many parts, benevolent to all beings, learned, eloquent, handsome, patient, slow to anger, one who is truly great, who is free from envy, and when excited to wrath, can strike terror into the hearts of even the celestial beings. O sage, I would hear of such a man from you who are able to describe him to me. Narada, acquainted with the past, the present, and the future, pleased with the words of sage Valmiki, answered him, saying, rare indeed are those endowed with qualities that you have enumerated. Yet I can tell you of one such person born in the family of Ikshwaku. He is named Rama, one renowned, fully self controlled, valorous, and illustrious, the Lord of all, wise, conversant with ethical code, eloquent, fortunate, a slayer of his foes, broad shouldered, long armed, possessing a conch shaped neck and prominent chin, eminent in archery, with a muscular body, arms extending to the knees, and a noble head and brow of mighty prowess, possessing well proportioned limbs and skin of bluish tint, one renowned for his virtue, prominent eyes, deep chested, bearing auspicious marks, one who protects those who take refuge in him and is ever mindful of the good of those dependent on him. True to his promises, benevolent to his subjects, omniscient, renowned for his good deeds, pure and ever responsive to devotion, meditating on his own essence, equal to Brahma, protector of his people, pleasing to look upon, supporting the universe, the destroyer of those who contravene the moral code, inspirer of virtue, giver of special grace to his devotees and to those who duly observe sacrificial rites and are charitable, conversant with essence of the Vedic philosophy and adept in the science of warfare, skilled in the scriptural law of infallible memory, beloved of all, of courteous disposition, incapable of cowardice, acquainted with the laws of this world as also of the other worlds. As a river hasten to the ocean, so do men of virtue ever approach him. Equal to Vishnu in valor, grateful to the sight as the full moon, even when stirred to the righteous anger, resembling all consuming death, but in patience like earth, in generosity like Kubera, in truthfulness, the personification of virtue. Such are his great qualities. Rama, the beloved seer of King Dasharatha, possessing every excellent attribute, benevolent to all, devoted to the warfare of every living being. His father, King Dasharatha, made preparations to install him as his regent, but the queen Kaikeyi, claiming the boons formerly promised to her, demanded the exile of Rama and the enthronement of her own son Bharata. King, held by his promise and by the ties of honor, sent his son Rama, whom he loved as his own life, into exile, obeying the command of his royal seer. And in order to gratify Kaikeyi, Sri Rama went to the forest. The son of Queen Sumitra, Prince Lakshmana, inspired by affection and humility, followed his brother Rama into exile. The daughter of King Janaka, an incarnation of Lakshmi, endowed with the highest feminine virtues, seeing Prince Lakshmana accompanying Rama, obedient to her lord, he too followed him as Venus follows the moon, or according to the scriptures, like the Rohini follows the moon. Accompanied for some leagues by King Dasharatha and his people, Rama dismissed the chariot on reaching the town of Shringavirapura on the banks of Ganga and commanded the minister Sumantra to return to the capital. Here the prince met with beloved Kuva, his own friend, chief of the forest people are called as Nishadas, accompanied by whom, with Lakshmana and Sita, he crossed the river Ganga and entered the forest, arriving at length at the Chitrakuta mountain described by the sage Bharadwaja. Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita dwelt happily in the forest like devas or Gandharvas. Overwhelmed with grief at the separation from his sons and lamenting their absence, the king Dasharatha departed this life while Rama was dwelling on the Chitrakuta mountain. The holy sages offered the throne left vacant on the death of King Dasharatha to Prince Bharata, who declined it, not desiring the kingdom. Setting forth to the forest where Sri Rama dwelt in order to propitiate him, he approached that hero of truth with humility and directing his attention to the code of justice with which he was conversant, requested Rama to return and govern the kingdom. The magnanimous, handsome, and mighty Rama refused to accept the throne, preferring to carry out the here command of his father and presenting Prince Bharata with his sandals as a symbol of authority, also known as Paduka, repeatedly exhorted him to return to the capital, while Bharata was insisting Rama to return to the capital. Finally, Rama refused and gave his Paduka as a symbol to Bharata. Sri Bharata, touching the feet of Rama in submission, parted and began to rule the dominion from the town of Nandigrama while eagerly awaiting the return of his brother. The sages and hermits who dwelt in the forest, constantly harassed by asuras, approached Sri Ramachandra to ask for his protection, Sri Rama agreed to slay the evil asuras in order to preserve the sages who had sought his help. The holy men whose appearance equaled the fire in luster heard of Sri Rama's resolve and were assured by him of his protection. The female Asura Shurpanakha, who could assume various forms at will, was overpowered and disfigured by Rama and Lakshmana. All the wicked Rakshasas came led by Kra, Dushana, and Trishira to engage in combat with Sri Rama and were slain by him. Sri Rama slew 14,000 Rakshasas who dwelt in that forest. Hearing of the slaughter of the Rakshasas, King Ravana, transported with rage, took with him Maricha, a demon like himself. Maricha, for knowing the superior strength of Rama, sought to dissuade Ravana from entering into a combat with him. But Ravana, who was marked down by destiny, disregarded advice and went with Maricha to Sri Rama's abode. There, Maricha lured Sri Rama and Lakshmana away from the hermitage, and Ravana, having slain the vulture Jatayu, carried Sita away. Learning from the dying Jatayu of the abduction of daughter of king of Mithila, Sri Rama was overwhelmed with grief and began to mourn. Having performed the funeral rites of the vulture while wandering in search of Sita, he encountered an asura named Bandha, whose form was menacing and terrible. Sri Rama slew him and then performed the funeral rites, whereupon his soul ascended to heaven. While passing to the celestial sphere, Prabandha spoke to Rama of Prabhari, a female ascetic, and entreated him to visit her. Sri Rama, the ever resplendent destroyer of his foes, came to where Shabari dwelt and was duly worshipped by her. On the banks of Lake Ampa, Sri Rama met the monkey Hanuman who presented Sugriva to him. The mighty Rama related the whole of his story to him as far as the abduction of Sri Sita. Sugriva, having listened to Sri Rama, entered into the religious rites of friendship with him, witnessed by the fire. With full faith in Rama, Sugriva then recounted to him all the sufferings he had endured through his enmity with Vali, the great daring of the latter, the big brother of Sugriva. Then Sri Rama vowed to slay Vali. Sugriva, uncertain of Rama's prowess and desiring to test him, showed him the bones of the body of Dundubhi, forming a heap as high as a mountain. With his foot, Rama keep to a distance of 10 yojanas and discharging an arrow pierced 7 palmyra trees, cleaving a mountain, and with the shaft penetrating to the center of the earth. Having witnessed this exploit, Sugriva was satisfied and thereafter trusted Rama implicitly. In his company, he passed through the deep valleys to the town of Kanda. There, the yellow eyed Sugriva roared like a thunder. This terrible sound, the powerful and valiant monkey chief Wali issued forth, disregarding the warnings of his wife Tara, and engaged in a combat with Sugriva. As desired by Sugriva, Sri Rama slew Vali with a single arrow. Then he entrusted the government of Kishkinda to Sugriva, who now, as king of the monkey tribe, gathered his forces together and dispatched them to every quarter in search of Sita. The vulture chief, the courageous Sampati, informed Hanuman where Sita was, whereupon the monkey Hanuman leaped over the sea and lies between Bharatavarsha and Lanka in a distance of 500 miles. Entering the city of Lanka that was protected by Ravana, Hanuman beheld Sita meditating on Rama in the Ashoka garden. He there delivered Rama's ring to her and acquainted her with the welfare of her lord. Having revived the courage of Sita, he shattered the gate of the garden and slew 7 sons of the counselors of Ravana, 5 great captains, and leveled Akshayakumara, the son of Ravana, to the dust. Then he suffered himself to be taken captive, knowing he could not be subdued by the weapon granted by Brahma to Ravana. Acknowledging the power of its blessing, Hanuman allowed himself to be imprisoned, suffering many indignities. Subsequently, he burnt the whole of Lanka, only sparing the place where Sita dwelt. Returning to deliver his welcome tidings, he reported respectfully circumambulated the mighty Rama and recounted in detail how he found Sita. Setting out in the company of Sugriva and others, Rama reached the sea. There he quested a tempest by his shining arrows, and the Lord of the waters, Samudra, appeared before him. Under his directions, Nala threw a bridge over the sea. Crossing the sea by means of this bridge, Sri Rama entered Lanka, slew Ravana in battle, and recovered Sita. But she, being the subject of slander, was addressed by him with harsh words in the midst of the assembly. After hearing the words of Rama with forbearance, Sita entered a great fire. On the testimony of the fire god, Sita was proved to be innocent, and Rama, adored by all the gods, was content. The animate and inanimate beings of the 3 worlds, gods and the sages, gave thanks that Ravana had been slain by Sri Rama. Sri Rama enthroned Vibhishana as the king of Asuras, and being wholly satisfied, revived all the monkeys who had fallen in the battle. In the aerial chariot Pushpaka, accompanied by Sugriva, Sri Rama, a devotee of truth, reached the hermitage of Bharadwaja. From there, he sent Hanuman to Prince Bharata as his messenger, and conversing with Sugriva, again mounted the aerial chariot and arrived at Nandigrama. Ever obedient to his father, Sri Rama then cut off his matted locks and with Sita occupied the throne of Ayodhya. Seeing Sri Rama occupying the throne, people were happy and satisfied, virtuous and free from sickness, sorrow, famine, or danger. None witnessed the death of their son. No woman became a widow, and all were devoted to their husbands. There was no danger from tempests. None perished by water, nor was there any cause of fear from fire. Fever and plague were unknown. There was no want and no danger from thieves. Cities and villages were rich and prosperous. All lived happily as though they are living in the Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga. Sri Rama and Sita observed countless Vedic sacrifices and gave much gold and hundreds of thousands of cows in charity, thus preparing for themselves a place in the divine regions. Sri Rama added incalculably to the prosperity of the dynasty and bestowed immense wealth on the Brahmins. He employed his subjects in the duties of the respective caste or varnas and ruled for 11,000 years, after which he returned to his celestial abode, Vaikuntha. He who reads the story of Rama, which imports merit and purity, is freed from all the sin. He who reads it with faith and devotion is ultimately worshipped together with his sons, grandsons, and servants at his death. A Brahmin reading this become proficient in the Vedas and philosophy. A Kshatriya would become a king. A Vaishya would grow prosperous in trade. A Shudra, on reading this, will become great in his Varna. Thus ended chapter 1 of the Bala Kanda under Ramayana. In this part of the story, Narada has told the entire Ramayana in a small way, in a condensed way to Valmiki. Valmiki, on understanding the story of Rama, elaborated the same into a great epic known as Ramayana. नमस्ते शारदा देवी काश्मीरपुरवासिनि त्वामहं प्रार्थये नित्यं विद्यादानं च देहि मे. Goodbye.